Our boss, who is under pressure, is presented with a quick opportunity to redeem himself. Manchester United, just days after losing at Old Trafford to Manchester City, we are taking on in the same yard, in front of the same home fans. We are entertaining the same team we beat in the final of the Carabao Cup in the fourth round of this edition of this trophy that we hope we can defend. It is going to be an important game for Erik Ten Hag and his future at Manchester United as Newcastle comes to Old Trafford for that big one. It will be later on tonight at 11:15 p.m. and obviously this game should call for a lot of scrutiny from anyone who is interested in Manchester United. The first day of November coming, of course, with a big fixture for our troubled boss. What exactly is he expected to do? Welcome to the hotspot. I'm here with some early team news concerning the two teams. Well, Manchester United is looking, of course, a bit firm in terms of players who are fit. The likes of Casemiro, there is no assurance yet of whether he will be available to start this one, but he has been training. Aaron Wan-Bissaka too has been training, but he's not expected, I believe, to start this one. What we know though is that our young players are fully fit, and perhaps this is the time we get to see them. Now, for me, this is one of the changes, or these are some of the changes I expect to see if Erik Ten Hag is going to try and redeem himself. In my view, these are the changes exactly that the boss has got to make if he's going to redeem himself and his future at Manchester United. What exactly do I expect to see? I expect to see young players being given a chance. And when I talk of young players, not just any young players, I'm talking of young players who have proved themselves. Now, these are the ones for me that I expect to see out there starting this game. I don't expect to see the Marcus Rashfords of this world. I don't expect to see the even Casemiro for me. If Kobe Maino is fit, I'm not expecting to see Casemiro playing this one. So for me, these are the most important changes that I believe Erik Ten Hag should be contemplating making. Here we go. So those are the players, and I've made Kobe Maino big because for me he's the most important one. He's the first one you should be thinking of. Start Kobe Maino in that midfield to create the pivot, and again, Erik Ten Hag loves to try out things, and whereas any good manager will want to try out things, I think it also matters against which team you want to try out new things. Now, against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup at Old Trafford, I personally think this is the very opportune game for Erik Ten Hag to try out new things, to risk if he has got to, not against Manchester City like he was doing with Varane and Lindelof on the left and all. This is the game where Erik Ten Hag can try out things that he has dreamt of as a manager and everything. But I'm not even sure this is exactly trying. Having Kobe Maino starting as the number six ahead of him, put this boy Hannibal Mejbri to play as a number 10. Yes, put him there. Ahead of him, of course, let Hoyland start. I want to see the young players. On the left, let Alejandro Garnacho start there on the left. Let Pelistri start on the right. Yes, simple. Then, if you want some bit of experience and balance, maybe Kobe Maino, if you feel against Newcastle, being the only holding midfielder might be a little too heavy on him, play Amrabat alongside him. I have no problem. Play 4-2-3-1 with Amrabat and Maino, so the experience comes through Amrabat. Or if Casemiro is fit, let Casemiro start alongside Kobe Maino. Casemiro loves to play a bit going forward. Maino is a sitting midfielder. Let Maino play as your number 6. Have your Casemiro play next to him, just slightly ahead, or as a number 8. Then Mejbri as a number 10. Top Rasmus Højlund. On the right, put Facundo Pelistri and Alejandro Garnacho on the left. 4-2-3-1. That's what he loves to play anyway, Erik Ten Hag. But the personalities have got to change. I don't expect to see Bruno starting this game. I don't expect to see Marcus Rashford starting this game. I wouldn't care if Mason Mount was started on the bench. Well, maybe someone will argue that, of course, you don't want to start so many young players going forward. For me, I would, by the way, in the situation we are in, because all these so-called bigger players are not performing. So I personally actually think even Mason Mount would be on the bench. Yes, but knowing Erik Ten Hag, he will probably start Mason Mount somewhere, and maybe Mabry starts on the bench. It is okay because Mabry looks better. He brings on the energy when he comes on as a substitute. But the thing is, even him as a substitute is not something Erik Ten Hag is very excited about doing. There, for example, the game against Man City, I think it was obvious that we needed the energy of Mabry at some point to come and try to and keep Manchester City at bay. Again, Erik Ten Hag chooses to keep quiet and stay on the touchline there and bring on Sergio Reguilon when you're looking for goals. I don't get it. So for me, this game, like I said, it's going to come with a lot of focus and scrutiny. It's not a high pressure game. Yes, it's at Old Trafford where we cannot afford to lose a game again, but I don't think it's really a high pressure game. I don't think people will be calling for the head of Erik Ten Hag because we lost against Newcastle now in the Carabao Cup. We will be calling for his head if we lost against Newcastle at Old Trafford in the Carabao Cup, but with him making all the wrong selections of players. So even the selection alone could redeem him regardless the result, because no one will judge Erik Ten Hag for trying out young players. Young players are exciting, they are hungrier, they will put on, they will make an effort. So these are the players we need to give a chance. So for me, that is what I need to say. All we beg for from Erik Ten Hag is to trust the young players, give them a chance and trust them, because the so-called senior players have not been performing. They have not been giving you even a quarter of what we expect from them. So why then do you have to keep putting them there? In terms of the other changes, I hope he makes. Of course, Harry Maguire, as I think is picking his rhythm and flow. I think it's not good for Harry Maguire to be benched now. I think Maguire needs to be on the pitch playing to build his confidence again. So is Andre Onana. I think Onana can still start. Not the right game for him to rest. I think he can still start that one for his own confidence at Old Trafford more so. When the home fans are there and shouting behind him, you probably want to see that chemistry, that love affair between him and Maguire. Both of them need to start, mostly because it's a home game and they are just getting back to their form. They're just picking their form. You don't want to kill that rhythm that they are building. Varane should be starting this one. Don't tell me about keeping him for another game and all. Don't tell me about tactics. I think Rafael Varane should be starting with Maguire, because it looks those could be our reliable centre backs for quite some time, or in more crucial games. So we want to see their partnership and how they play together. Sergio Reguilon should be starting on the left. Victor Lindelof has got no business starting on the left when Sergio Reguilon is fit, regardless of the game. So again, this is one I expect. But the back line is something Ten Hag can tinker with, because yes, he wants to be a tinkerman at times. He can tinker with the back line. But when it comes to the midfield, I think we've got to see a significant statement made by the boss in terms of who starts and who doesn't. The EFL Cup is our closest chance to a title. I'm not sure people will be so excited if Man United went ahead and defended the EFL Cup, but I'm sure people will be excited by which players Erik Ten Hag puts on the pitch. The reason as United supporters we are sad now is not because of where we are, 8th on the log. It's not just because of being beaten by Man City at home, not the 5 losses we've endured. I think it is mostly because of the poor performances. It's the performances. Even in loss, you can put on a decent performance even when you're losing. So the issue with Manchester United is that even the losses, even the wins, even the victories are not victories you will be proud of. You won't go out of a game feeling proud. It's because the performances put on by each individual are below par. They are not Manchester United level. These are players playing as if it's high school football. So I think Erik Ten Hag has got to work first on ensuring that we improve our performance on the pitch before then we start talking about results. He was telling us how we are in the right direction because we are winning games. I don't think so. I don't think we are in the right direction because of games we are winning. I think we would be in the right direction because of performances we put on and how decent they look. If they don't look decent at all, then we are headed nowhere. We are just fumbling into victory. So for me, this is one game where I expect a reaction, not in terms of a result, but in terms of a performance. I actually think the best we could get in this one could be a draw. But if he selects the right young players, we can actually beat Newcastle United, because they are also going to rotate and make changes to their team. They are playing Arsenal next in the Premier League. It will obviously be a more important game on the mind of Eddie Howe. So I think we have got an opportunity to beat Newcastle. But Erik Ten Hag, most importantly, has got an opportunity to change things around and redeem himself. Hotspot, subscribe. My name is Webb. I will be talking to you later. It's the early team news. Tonight is match day. Old Trafford will be buzzing again as the Magpies come along to try and pile more misery on our troubled boss. But we are here to back him up and say, no, it won't happen. But first, if it's not going to happen, make these changes. Play those young boys, including Garnacho. Hot spot. My name is Webb. Let me know what you think as we do continue talking Manchester United.